What's up guys, you're welcome back to my channel. In this video I'll show you how to make this simple jumpsuit. So let's get started. So first you fold your fabric into 4 places and then you leave 2 inches on this edge for the back panel. The next thing is to take the length of your jumpsuit. For mine I have 58 inches and then I added 2 inches to it for seam allowance. I'll assume this place is my shoulder line, so I'll mark out my armhole from this line. So I'll mark out 9 inches. So from the shoulder line I'll mark out 9 inches for my armhole. I'll mark out 16 inches for waist measurement. I'll mark out 24 inches for my hip measurement and 33 inches for my crouch measurement. So I have 9 inches for the armhole, 16 inches for my waistline, 24 inches for my hip line, and 33 inches for the crouch length. From this edge, I'll mark out 2 inches, and then I'll start from the crouch line. So I'll mark out 2 inches here, 2 inches here, 2 inches on this line, and 2 inches here. I'll go ahead and connect these lines together. The next thing, you come over to the shoulder line, you take your shoulder measurement. So it's your shoulder measurement divided by 2. I have 8. And then I'm going to add 2 inches. So I took 2 inches extra for my shoulder line because I'm using half an inch to join this part together, and then the remaining 1.5 inch I'll use it for my gathers. So on the armhole line I'll take my bust measurement. So it's your bust measurement divided by 4. I have 9 inches. And then I'll add 2.5 inches because I'm using half an inch to join it on the center fold, and then the remaining 2 inches will be for allowance. On the waistline, I'll take my waist measurement. So it's your waist measurement divided by 4. I have 8.5 inches. And then I'll add 2.5 inches to it. And then on the hip line, I'll take my hip measurement divided by 4, which is 10.5. And then you add 3.5. So I added 3.5 inches to the hip line. So you connect your shoulder line to your underarm line, and then you mark your armhole curve with 1 inch. So here's my armhole curve, and then I'll connect the bust line to the waistline, and then connect it to my hip line. So I'll go ahead and cut out this part first. I'm going to fold this upwards a bit. I'll just pull it upwards so you can see the other side of the jumpsuit. And then I'll come over to the crouch line. I'll use 1 inch for the crouch curve. And then I'll mark it like this. And then I'll just bring down this line down to the end of the jumpsuit. And then I'll cut it out. I'll cut out the first 2 layers. So I'm cutting the first 2 layers, which is the front panel. And then I'll cut out this edge also. Just cut out half an inch from this edge. I'll also go ahead and cut out the first 2 layers, and I'm cutting out on this line. For the back panel, I'll extend the crotch by 2 inches. And then extend this area by 1 inch. You just mark it down. And then I'll extend the back area by 1/2 inch. So I'll connect it to the crotch line. I'll extend this 1/2 inch to the top part. And then on this top part, I added 1/2 inch. So I'll cut the bottom part first before I cut the top part. So to cut the neckline, I'll just go ahead and flip this sideways. I'll go ahead and just cut off 2 inches from the back panel and 3 inches for the front panel. So I'll cut out 2 inches for the back panel and 3 inches for the front panel. So I'll cut out 2 inches for the back panel, like I said before. And then I'll just hide the back panel and then cut out the 1 inch extra. I went ahead to trim off 1 inch from the shoulder line, just to give you the shape that I want. So I'll cut. For the pockets, I just cut out a piece of fabric and then I'll fold it into 4 places like this. Fold it into 4 places. The length of the pocket is 11 inches and the width is about 9 inches. I'll just draw out a shape like this for my pocket and then I'll cut it out. So here's my pocket. I'll cut it into 2 places. So I have 2 for each pocket. For the back panel, you go ahead and sew from here down to the crotch extension. So you're sewing from here down to this place. For the front panel, I marked out 8 inches. And then you're sewing from here down to the crotch extension. So you mark out 8 inches, you mark it here, and then you sew from here down to the crotch extension. So you sew it together with 1/2 inch. After joining the center fold, you go ahead and join the sides of the jumpsuit. So I marked out 16 inches from the armhole, and then I marked out 7 inches for my pocket. So it's 16 inches from the armhole and then 7 inches for my pocket. So when I'm sewing, I'll stop at this place and then continue from here. so you leave this part open for you to place your pockets. I also did the same for the other side. So you sew it down from the armhole to this 16 inches mark, and then leave 7 inches opening and continue sewing from here down to the end. So after joining the sides, you go ahead and fix the pocket. So to fix the pocket, you take the top part of your pocket, you place it on the right side of your jumpsuit. You place it here like this, and then you pin it to the edge. So you pin it around, you pin it straight down. And you do the same for the other side of the pocket. So you pin it on the right side, and then you sew it straight down, and you sew it straight down, and then you go ahead and sew it like this down to the end. Here's the pocket after sewing. When you flip it inside out, this is what you have for the pocket. To join the inner thigh area, you go ahead and pin the crouch together. So you're pinning both front and back together, and then you go ahead and sew. Then you sew from one end down to the other end. Next, you go ahead and hem the armholes. You roll it in with 1/2 inch, and then you just go ahead and sew. You also go ahead and hem the front slit. So you roll it in with 1/2 inch. So now we go ahead to make a casing for the rope. So you're going to hem this with 1 inch. You go ahead and fold it in with at least 1 inch, and then you sew it down. Do the same for the back piece. You fold it in, and then you fold it with at least 1 inch, leaving an opening for the rope to go in. For the rope, I cut a piece of fabric measuring 2 inches wide and 60 inches long. I'll go ahead and sew this together with the right sides facing each other. I'll sew it straight down, and then after sewing, I'll turn it inside out. After sewing the rope, I turned it inside out, and then I just pinned it on the edge. So after hemming the top part, I'll go ahead and slide the rope in. And then you slide it into the other side of the front part. And go ahead and just tie this together. Lastly, you go ahead and hem the bottom of the jumpsuit, and that's it. So I had to move the pockets up a bit by 8 inches, and I also made a belt for the jumpsuit. Please like and share this video, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you have not. I love you for watching. Thank you.